Okay, so let me bring you in on something. The fallout over President Trump's tariffs turmoil has gotten so bad that even people in his own administration are fighting over it. The Washington Post is reporting that over the weekend, Elon Musk made direct appeals to Trump to reverse the tariffs, while also going after the president's top trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on social media. Now, Navarro then took a shot at Musk on CNBC, saying the Tesla CEO is, quote, not a car manufacturer, but a car assembler, which Musk responded to by calling Navarro a, quote, moron and dumber than a sack of bricks. When asked about this feud at today's press briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt didn't refute it. Instead, she said this.
Look, these are obviously two individuals who have very different views on trade and on tariffs. Boys will be boys, and we will let their public sparring continue.
Boys will be boys. But here's the thing. These schoolyard fights don't really matter, folks, because at the end of the day, no matter what cracks may or may not have been formed between Trump and Musk and Navarro and whomever, that agenda between Trump and Musk remains the same. That is, the dismantling of the federal government through DOGE, which is essentially the physical manifestation of Project 2025. Back with me are Neera Tanden, Charlie Dent, and Catherine Rappel. Catherine, on that point, you know, boys will be boys. It's just so silly, the whole schoolyard crazy. It's, in my view, a distraction, because the real thing is what's still going on outside of these walls, across the street, on Capitol Hill, and at federal buildings around the country, that individuals are losing their job, programs are ceasing, phone calls aren't being answered. The disintegration continues despite the fact that the 10-year-olds are acting like, well, 5-year-olds.
Look, you know, Elon Musk just can't catch a break. He spent $200 million trying to get Donald Trump elected so that they could run the government together. But then it turns out they both suck at running the government. And so now he's over $100 billion poorer. So I understand why he's upset. But you are right that the bigger story here is the wholesale dismantling of our federal government, the disappearance of federal statistics, the layoffs of scientists, translators, air traffic controllers, that nuclear inspectors whom they are trying to hire back periodically. RFK Jr., the HHS secretary, even recently said that, 20% of the people that he just fired were probably mistakes. And whatever the judges rule on all of this, they're going to come back anyway. But why would anyone in their right mind, if they have other opportunities, particularly if they have really highly valued skills, including many of the scientists within our Health and Human Services Department at CDC and FDA, why would they come back? If they do come back, many of them will be recused from working on the kinds of work that the valuable work that they had been doing before, because they had already started looking for other employment. So there are so many ways in which the basic functions of our government have been sabotaged, and Americans will start to notice it. In fact, many of them have, if they can't get phone calls answered at Social Security, if they have trouble signing up their kids for various kinds of other safety net programs, food assistance, for example. Head Start funding has been disrupted. These things, besides being pretty inhumane in how DOGE has been treating the workers themselves and wasting tons of really valuable human capital, it's the general voter who's going to get stiffed here, because these are really important services, weather, safety net benefits, et cetera, that they are going to lose out on.
The key thing for me that I find, Neera, is the idea that there's so much of this. It has an emotional impact because people's lives are disrupted, and that becomes a tool to sort of create more distraction. But the underlying effort to dismantle this government remains very strong. You've got the Washington Post noting Social Security website keeps crashing. For almost 2 days last week, many of the 7.4 million adults and children receiving monthly benefits under the anti-poverty program known as Supplemental Security Income confronted a jarring message that claimed they were currently not receiving payments. The error messages set off widespread panic until recipients discovered that their monthly checks had still been deposited in their bank accounts. But that's the whole point, right? It's this confusion, concern, and in the end, build it up in such a way that the voters and everyday folks out there really turn on what's left of this government.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the strategy. I think they thought, my view here is that you have a bunch of libertarian dude bros who've never needed, they're not vulnerable, they've never needed the government themselves, you know, they're not sick yet, they're not old yet, they just think they're invincible. And so they don't mind, you know, taking a wrecking ball to the federal government to stiff over seniors or veterans or children. And I think fundamentally that they are wrong and that the American people will see through this. But let's just take a step back here. You know, I've heard for so long how Republicans are so good at running a business. We need that business smarts to run the government. And here we are, just to say, we have a businessman we elected who said he was going to make the economy hum. He is taking the economy into an iceberg.
Right.
You have a business leader who is basically driving us towards recession. So I don't know what credibility they have to make the government work better. All they're doing is slashing and burning. And the people who are going to be victimized are the everyday Americans who, you know, earn their benefits for Social Security or are veterans. I mean, these are the people who are being hurt. We're living through their kind of ideological battle, but that's not where the American people are.